Ограничено по
Добрый
времени,
день.
поэтому, да, будем сегодня достаточно
Добрый день.
оперативно. Да.
Maria
Мария
Vladimirovna, I have
Владимировна,
two
два вопроса.
questions.
Первый
The
вопрос.
first question,
Хочу спросить
I would like to
попросить
ask you to
прокомментировать
comment
визит в
on the
регион, в
visit to
Армению,
the
в
region,
Азербайджан
to Armenia and
вице-президента США Венса,
Azerbaijan, to the U.S. Vice President Vance, which was reached by the Yerevan and the Washington Agreement Committee, and in particular, in the nuclear relations with
Вы
Armenia.
знаете, каких-либо
There
деталей,
were
в
no
том числе
details,
по
including the
анонсированному
announced project for the construction of American small modular reactors in Armenia worth $9 billion. This topic became interesting to me. I thought, what are these small reactors and where do they even exist?
what was the history of this issue? I saw that a number of Armenian information sources rushed to present this news as an unprecedented investment by Washington in the Republican economy. I just want to say, I don't know how to say it in Russian. I saw it in translation. I don't know how to say it in Armenian. But the main thing is that the word unprecedented is not used in the sense that there have never been such in life and there will never be. Because, in fact, it turned out that it was not the Americans who were offered to pay for all this, but Yerevan. At the same time, as I said, the funds will go through the not yet created TRIP fund, which seems to be intended for other infrastructure projects. That is, somehow everything is very muddy. But, let's dwell on this topic in more detail. It is also very interesting about energy affairs and energy issues. You have probably seen the materials on the topic of the construction of the nuclear power plant, which were regularly discussed with Yerevan at various levels, and Rosatom, which regularly comments on this topic, and the comments of the Deputy Minister of Foreign Affairs of Russia, Mr. Galuzin,
Regarding the parameters of possible participation of Moscow in the TRIP project. I want to say that, of course, Armenia is certainly free to work with the partners it considers necessary. However, the choice in favor of American technologies, really raises questions. For example, the proposed low-power power plants in Washington are not even on the territory of the United States. They exist only on paper. If this is not the case, correct me. But I tried to figure out where these energy miracles can be seen, but I could not find them.
experts note that the final cost, in particular, of such a plant for customers can be much higher than the calculated cost, which is just in the advertising booklets.
It is a well-known fact that the project of the construction of a small modular power plant in the United States was frozen in 2024, after the costs for it jumped from the initial $5 billion to $10 billion. There is a separate assessment that Armenia will actually use American technologies for its own money as a testing ground. Experts immediately raised another question in this regard. What, for example, will happen to the waste? Where will they be buried?
On the territory of Armenia, in Nagorno Armenia. Now let's get back to our country and the energy cooperation with Armenia. We have been a reliable partner of Yerevan in the nuclear industry for decades.
I will also remind you of the facts. In 1995, the Russian side helped to restore and restart the Armenian nuclear power plant. All these years, our country has assisted in its operation, in service maintenance, in the supply of fuel. With our help, a project to extend the operating period to 2026 was implemented, thanks to which the Armenian nuclear power plant is operating today. At the moment, we are working together on another project, on another extension of the life of the plant until 2036. I would also like to note that Russia is the only country that already operates a small-capacity nuclear power plant. We have repeatedly offered our partners tested Russian solutions in all ranges of power of the plant, small, medium, large. We have demonstrated options in which nuclear power would play a significant role in the energy balance of the Republic, accordingly contributing to energy sovereignty. The competitive advantages of domestic technologies have been presented to the Armenian side more than once. And the last time it was done, for example, on February 6th, during a meeting of the General Director of the State Corporation Rosatom, Mr. Lekachev, with the Chairman of the National Assembly of Armenia, Mr. Simonyan, as part of his official visit to Russia. This topic was discussed many times during a meeting of the Bilateral Commission on Economic Cooperation.
And taking into account the nature of bilateral relations between our countries, we would be ready to develop favorable financial models. This has also been discussed many times by the Armenian side. Therefore, all these proposals remain on the table. But if you find somewhere an implemented project of the aforementioned American model, please show it. Did I answer your question?
Thank you very much, Maria Vladimirovna. There are two questions. But before the second question, in general, how do you assess the visit of Vance to Armenia and Azerbaijan?
We've already shared our assessments in the corresponding official materials. And the second question then, Maria Vladimirovna, you have already mentioned the interview with the deputy head of the Ministry of Health, Mr. Galuzin, who was recently known. He talked about the fact that Russia intends to act as a guarantor of energy security for Armenia and contribute to the development of the nuclear industry. This topic is being discussed. He also stated that Russia is ready to discuss with Yerevan the parameters of the possible participation of Moscow in the TRIP project.
But in this regard, I would like to ask you, what is the basis for such an approach of the Russian side when the Armenian authorities have already clearly stated that the TRIP project is only American-Armenian, that they do not plan to involve Russia here, and that it is already clear that in the matter of building a new nuclear power plant, the preference is given to the American model? I have just commented on this and said that we already have long-term interaction in this direction, and I said that it is mutually beneficial. Moreover, it strengthens the energy security of our two countries and the region as a whole. The point is that, these issues and topics are not a joke. These are not issues that can be voiced today and then tomorrow begin to collect money for them, and the day after tomorrow lay the foundation and then just throw it away as they did in America in 2024. This is a matter of energy security. You see, if the climate situation was such that it was possible not to heat up, or, for example, there were other sources of energy, probably, yes, it would be possible to treat it without the appropriate attention and responsibility.
And when we know what help is, including humanitarian aid to the people of Armenia, what supplies are, I don't know, including warm clothes that people need, what help is for families that cannot get the appropriate, not just comfortable, but simple conditions. We have also gone through all this. I would like to start getting interested in such things in the long run. We're talking about our common region. We're talking about energy security, which, you can't just take and draw a line and say, this will definitely never affect the interests of the entire region.
And most importantly, we have been reliable partners of Yerevan in this matter for many years. I have presented all the arguments.
And about the trip, Maria Vladimirovna?
About the trip, I will definitely answer you, and we will also publish this answer on the website.
Thank you.
So, is the Russian Today TV channel with us? Yes. Hello, Maria Vladimirovna, Birovich Anastasia, RT Balkan.